So let's think about what's happening right now in real fucking time, right? I give my opening rant, right? You decide to clap, which brought me value because it was the positive reinforcement that I'm looking for as a public speaker, right? I then counter you doing a good thing for me to bring you up here, and now I'm gonna give you 30 seconds to say hello and tell the world what you're about. Let's see how you do, Kylie.
Nice to meet you, thank you. My name's Kylie Gordon. I'm a beatboxer from Atlanta, Georgia.
This is getting better by the fucking second.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm talking about, assholes? Damn it, good shit happens. Fucking beatboxer. They're gonna say you're a fucking UI designer or something.
And I'm a UI designer. No, really, I build startups in Atlanta. Are you a UI designer? Yes, I am. You know you're beatboxing, right?
Beatbox.
Will you freestyle? Yes? Okay.
And Kylie's parents had a real good marriage. Now, we're gonna show people how South by works. Now we're all gonna collectively take out our smartphones, which we already have. Do you have a Twitter handle? All right, now, Twitter sucks shit in explaining how their product works, so do not start your tweet with Kylie's Twitter handle. Say, hey, at...
Kylie O, that's Kylie 0.
So, K-I-L-E-Y, the number 0. So now I'm gonna pause for 41 seconds while everybody takes out their smart devices and says, hey, at K-I-L-E-Y, the number 0. You could say he has mad, beatbox skills. You could say his beard is fucking epic. You could say he's kind of cute. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but let's give this man some love and let's clap it up for him. Listen, there's gonna be the cool parties to go to. Make sure you follow me on Twitter for my secret wine party. I'm thinking about doing it tonight, so definitely come to that. There's gonna be the great keynotes. There's gonna be the things you wanna get to. But at the end of the day, the reason I continue to come back to this event, while all my douchebag Silicon Valley friends go, oh, it's fucking sold out, it's too busy for my fucking dick. Fuck you. Here's why it's good. And here's why I come back. The truth is, there could be 9 million people that come to this event. You, as a human being, have the ability to make this a very big event or a very small event. You have the ability. The reason I come back is because so many of my friends, who I think are the smartest people in this space, and I will get together tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning in one of the hotel rooms, and we'll do what we call a jam session, where for 2 to 4 hours, we'll literally debate, is Secret gonna make money? What about Bitcoin? All the topics that I'm passionate about, being in business, living in this world, about my subject matter. So, I come to South by to have lots of people. Hugh says it's not about one-to-many. For me, it is. Right now, this is about one-to-many, right? It's about one-to-many. It's also going to be one-to-one. When I was standing out there on the way here, I met a nice young gentleman from Kansas City. He's got a fat-ass Chiefs hat. I see it right now. And I got to spend my 2 minutes with him, know that he's run a digital agency for 8 years, and I got to have my one-to-one moment. Me and fucking Kylie, we're fucking family by now, right? Got to have that moment. So, I'm just really fucking tired of everybody saying, oh, this is too crowded, or this is too long of a line, or it's sold out, or there's too many people. You are 100% in charge of your life. Stop fucking bitching. That's how I found value at South by. I'll tell you a story. My first year here, I came, 2008, I was excited. I wanted to meet all the people, Tim Ferriss and Kevin Rose. I was in it, I knew it. I didn't, I had the wine show. I was surprised how many people knew my wine show because I didn't think it blended the tech yet. I ran into Jason Fried, and he said, oh, I love your wine show. I was like, holy shit, Jason Fried from fucking 37 Signals now. I was getting excited, and it was the first night. I was getting pumped. There's parties. I'm like, oh shit, nerd parties, cool. So there was a party, it was called the 16-bit party, right? It was put on by like Dig and a couple of other people, and I was super pumped. I ran over to where it was, took one of these pedicabs because I'm lazy and I don't like to walk. I got there, and there's a fucking line, and it's long. And I'm like, shit, this line is long. And we're waiting, and then I finally got frustrated, and I recalled that, you know, eating my own dog food about providing value up front, I did that. Before I came to South by in 2008, I shipped down 10 cases of wine from the wine library because I was in a wine business at the time, and that's what I was doing. And I brought it mainly to share with people. You know, I figured, I'm gonna learn about tech, I might as well educate these UI designers on how to drink some fucking Pinot Noir. So, I shipped the wine down, and I didn't know what I was really going to do with it. Sure enough, I'm sitting in line, everybody's getting frustrated. The first year South by was probably took a big jump in like growth of people coming. People were frustrated by line. So Twitter was only about a year old. I was doing pretty well on it. I'm like, told my friends and a couple other people, let's leave this line, let's go back to the hotel. I've got wine, right? Like free liquor, everybody gets fucking pumped, right? So we leave. I tweet out with my 2,000 fans at the time, like, hey, I'm at the lobby of the Marriott Hotel, and all these people started showing up. And really, very honestly, for a lot of you that are curious, that wine party, now called the Secret Wine Party, in 2008, early 2008, in a lot of ways, was my breakout moment in the tech space. It was the time when I got to meet a far majority of people. A lot of people talked about it. But when you think about the seed in which it came from, I was obsessed with the notion of paying forward first. I will promise you, whether it's South by, whether it's the growth of your business, whether it's the way you live your life as a human being, if every person in this room can actually figure out how it actually works, which is the leverage of providing value first, always puts you in the right position for what you're personally trying to achieve, you have a much bigger upside. This is the event. My friend Andrew Hyde wore a t-shirt in 2009. It said, don't pinch me, bro. This is the event where every single person comes with an objective to close. And the way to actually break out is to reverse it. You know, to me, this is an event where a lot of introverts come that need to figure out how to become extroverted because it becomes about, you know, it's kind of, you know, it's easy to say like, hey, say hello to random strangers, right? It's easy to stand on stage for me and you and say hello and do that, but in real life, a lot of people are uncomfortable with it. You know, I don't know what works for you. You know, use Tinder. I don't give a fuck what you do. There'll be a lot of use Tinder. By the way, that's my third point. Use Tinder. That's my third. That's my third. You know, bullet in South by. You know, it's very basic. I think this is a great weekend. I hope everybody enjoys it. I think that you need to provide value. I would stress patience. If you could be the second person telling the person what you do or what you want to happen, you've already won. I do think that serendipity matters. I'll go a little bit left field on you though. I actually use South by as a 25% farming or retention play instead of hunting and acquiring. When somebody says to you, meet new people, say hello to the person, you know, the dumb shit that people do at conferences, like say hello to the person to the left and right of you that you're fucking sitting with. I actually think it's a good idea right now, but you know, but I don't want to say it that way, so I'll think of a creative way to say it. That's fine and dandy, and I would call that hunting, acquiring new people, creating that serendipity. Do not underestimate what South by brings to the table at scale of actually connecting with old friends. I promise you that, at least for me, one of the top value propositions that I get from South by is when I live in, I live in New York. When I'm in New York, I'm fucking working my face off. And I'm spending time with my family. It blows my head off that I spend more time with my friends in New York at South by than I do in New York, right? So one thing I would tell you is to kind of go through probably your contacts on your phone and think about people that maybe you don't see as much as you'd like back home. They're probably here as well. I would allocate at least a good 20% of your time trying to, what I call farm, reinvest in the relationships that you already have instead of trying to find new ones with everybody. So that's one that I don't think a lot of people talk about that I would highly recommend thinking about. Look, I really am a lot of you have a feel for me. I'm not super interested in telling you how to handle your business over the next 4 days. I'd much rather provide you guys value while I've got you here. In doing what I most believe in, I don't get to spend as much time with a lot of you individually or even in a collective group. So if you guys can throw up the Ask Gary V hashtag, and if you guys can bring up who's ever asking me these questions that's coming up here, I'd like you all to start asking me questions. I'd like to provide value. I'm excited. I'm not looking.